Hi, and welcome to another video segment for another newsletter here at Seekonk High School. I want to take a second and remind you that we are in the middle of taking midterm exams. Today was the first day of them, and they continue for most of the week next week, and then on Friday of next week, the 20th, we start second semester with just a regular day, day 7 for all you students that need to know what that is. But midterms, that's a pretty big deal. I'm sure that the students are talking about it a lot and taking these tests. And it's a big deal for a number of reasons. But most of all, it's a time to stop and reflect. Reflect on how well that they've done for the first half of the year and how well they'd like to do for the second half of the year and what they need to do to get there. So reflection is fantastic as long as it leads to action. You have to remember that. So we hope to help the students set some goals for second semester to get to where they need to be. If they're not understanding the material, we've got teachers here that stay at least 2 nights a week, every week, that students can get to them for some extra help. So if there's any struggling going on, make sure that those appointments are made. As far as assessments go, there are some pretty cool things going on here at Seekonk High School. Just to name a few, we have, I was lucky enough to be a judge on for one of these midterm assessments, and that was in Mrs. Dahmer's cooking class. They had to compete on a chopped edition for their exam. So the students were given a certain amount of ingredients and some guidelines, and they had to cook meals that were then judged by myself and 2 other people. Let me tell you, the judges won on that one. They did a great job. But the next one is drama class. The other night, the drama class put on scene night. And students, for part of their assessment, or as their assessment for this class, they actually have to perform on stage in a scene that they've selected. It's a pretty big deal for students that have never been on a stage before, and I have to tell you, they did fantastic. Another good assessment is one that has been done by a history teacher and is now being done by Mrs. Borden in her AP class. The students, instead of writing essays about certain diseases that they can catch, they have to build web pages, and then those web pages are going to be shared. So they have to do the research, put a web page together in the application piece of that, and then share that out for information for everybody. So the important thing about assessment that we try to get to is make it authentic and make it so that the students have to apply their knowledge. And so if you hear some of these stories from students as they're coming home, that's what we're trying to do. But midterms, again, I know some students are nervous about them. They shouldn't be too nervous about them if they've been doing what they need to do up till now. But it is a good chance. Take a time, sit down with your student and say, look, how'd you do on your midterm? Once they get it back, obviously, and then say, good enough, not good enough, how can you make it better? Because we're always about improving. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call. Contact me via email. You can follow us on Facebook or Twitter. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend.